Oh boy, folks. Oh boy. When will the pain with the Philadelphia Flyers ever end? I have no idea. No one knows the answers. I don't. You don't. If someone says they do, please tell me because you're probably crazy and I want what the hell you're smoking at this point. But Jesus, this Flyers team. I understand tonight all the circumstances going into it. You were riddled by COVID. You've been getting, people on the COVID list for the past couple of days. And you're also, at this point, also riddled by COVID and injury. But in the world that we live in today, the sports world as well, with basically this instance going on in every league, it's not an excuse at this point. You still got to find a way to go out and compete every single night, regardless of who or who is not in the lineup. And tonight, I guess you can say this is the result we all expected from this Flyers team going up against a more healthy Pittsburgh Penguins team. But before we get into all of that, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. So like I said, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that sub button for all the latest Philadelphia sports news recaps in advance. It's a great or a miserable time depending on the outcome. And also, if you are a current subscriber of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking for you to continue that down the road. So getting into the business tonight, the Flyers fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 6-2. Honestly, I expected the blowout to happen way earlier in the game. I did. But the Flyers made it 3-1, and then, it was 3-1 for a while, but then, penalties and all of that crap, not 5-on-5, third period, then the Penguins just basically ran them out the door from there. Even though I would say this game was still ran out the door in the first period from the way the Flyers played tonight. And, yeah, there were instances where the Flyers had some decent play, but, at this point, what did you expect from this game? When you have basically no one in the lineup because of COVID, you don't have Giroux, you don't have Provorov, you don't have Sanheim, you don't have Travis Konecny, you still don't have Sean Couturier, you still don't have Ryan Ellis, you still don't have all these guys. And they're all out with COVID or injury at this point, and you're forced to be starting guys that probably should not be in the NHL at this point, or just guys that aren't good enough right now to where you're forcing Cam York and Yegor Zamula to play top 4 minutes when, even though I think Cam York and Yegor Zamula had pretty decent games themselves, they're still not fully NHL ready at this point. They still have their own things to work on right now. And also, Morgan Frost, I would expect that this would be a type of game where he would like to showcase something because, a lot of the other guys are out of the lineup, but that did not happen. And Joel Farabee in this game, I felt so bad for him during that second period on the power play, man. That's just the most unluckiness case of unluckiness that you could possibly get. Whiffing on 2 pucks, and then he whiffs on the puck going out of the zone. He goes on the bench. He goes into the locker room for like 20 seconds. You can see on one of the replays the camera feed in there. I didn't even know they had a camera feed in there. Him literally breaking the stick on the hallway there, just getting out his anger. I feel for the guy at all because he's showing heart out there. He shows that he cares. But today, the Flyers, with how many players they were missing, they just looked like they gave up. They did. They had basically there were instances, yes, honestly, they should have tied this game 1-1 if it wasn't for the ref, blowing the whistle a little prematurely because the puck definitely was not covered at that point and the ref was in a horrible angle to view that play at all. But still, it just, who knows what would have happened after that if the game was tied at 1-1, but I still don't think that would have changed the difference just because of how unmanned the Flyers were. And I'm not using that as an excuse at all because at the end of the day, it isn't an excuse because who knows if the Flyers even had a full lineup in today with how putrid they have been playing this entire season, what the result would have been. The Flyers, when they had a full team earlier in the season against Pittsburgh, when they were riddled with COVID, they still lost to that Pittsburgh Penguins team. So that just shows to you right now how the season has been going for the Flyers and how putrid this season has just been. It's basically the bottom line of this entire scenario, and fans are fed up, and rightfully so. Fans are really fed up with all this. And what sucks today, too, is that today was Ed Snider's birthday, and they did nothing in that arena to, honor him at all. That's one of the issues I have as well. Your owner, the guy that found your franchise, and is it a Comcast thing at this point? Because I'm sure the players would have liked to do something for Ed Snider, but is this a Comcast thing to where they're not even showing any type of recognition to Ed Snider whatsoever? And that is a major problem. That is, at least just, you don't even have to do a memorial service. Just say happy birthday to our late owner, Ed Snider. Just say something like that. Even on social media, they didn't do anything. Like, that's one of the, one of the other issues I have with this organization, the way it's being run. But that's still another discussion to talk for another day, because I could do a whole video on how much I hate the way Comcast is running this team to the ground. My God, it's an entire issue. But this game happened. I don't know why it happened, because there was, I think, another game in the league today that got canceled or postponed. It was a Detroit, and I believe, versus, I think it was Anaheim, I believe. It was a Detroit game, I remember. But that game was postponed, and they had less guys missing in that game than the Flyers had tonight. So why is that game getting postponed but not tonight's game? That's just a major question right there. The Flyers are missing at least 6-7 players tonight, and you don't postpone the game? Does that have something to do with it being on ESPN Plus? Come on, NHL. Is that one of the major reasons why you didn't postpone tonight's game? You want to make your goddamn revenue on the national television broadcasts? My God. Thank God I didn't have to watch that ESPN broadcast, because sadly I was at this game. But Jesus. This Flyers team is just very annoying. They are. They just make me want to get. Well, I do actually gag watching this team. I don't know why I'm saying they make me want to gag, because I gag watching them. They make my eyes want to fall out of their goddamn sockets. That's how bad they are. Like, yes, I understand they are riddled with COVID right now. They don't have everyone in the lineup, but still, this team, even when they have a full lineup, they don't play good. They're not good. They're not a good team, and that's why my hope for this team has died so much. It's gone so down the hill as much as this season's gone along, because I'm just fucking done with it. I am so done with it at this point. Like, yeah, I can yell, bitch, and scream but at the end of the day, I'm done. Like, it's basically the same crap that you say every goddamn game, because it is the same crap game that goes on every game. They don't hustle. They don't possess in the offensive zone. They turn the puck over in their own zone. They can't get through the neutral zone. The power play is garbage, and they're leaving Carter Hart out there to dry. Basically, that's exactly what happened in this game. That's what, especially later in the game, too, with the 2 breakaway goals in that third period. But, so, really, this game, there's really not much to talk about. Pittsburgh dominated, I would say, majority of the night. The second period, I was very surprised that Pittsburgh did not score. They actually only, I think the shots in that period are a little skewed, because they were held to 4 shots, I believe, for like 75-85% of that period, and they got like at least 3-4 more shots like in the final minute of that period. So that did show how better the Flyers were playing in that second period, but it still really didn't make a difference, because they only scored 2 goals in this game. The 1 goal by Cam Atkinson, and the late, very, very garbage time goal by Oscar Lindblom. So, yeah, you get a first period by Pittsburgh. They get a power play. Russ scores on that lift, basically wide open by himself behind Carter Hart, manages to put it by into the open net. And then just a weird goal, because during this entire sequence before this goal by the second goal by Pittsburgh, to where the Flyers, they get a net mount scramble, and the ref prematurely blows the whistle when the puck is loose, so that takes away a goal by Joel Farabee, which would have tied the game. And that's one of the I don't know why I'm stuttering at this point, but still, what I'm trying to think where I was sitting at the seats in the second level. I thought it was one of those explanations where we intended to blow the whistle. That's why we waved the goal off. But apparently during the broadcast, you can hear the whistle, but where I was sitting, for some reason, I did not hear that whistle at all being blown. I don't know if it was just, all the noise going on from the fans during that instance, but I did not hear a single whistle whatsoever. But still, I do believe that the intend to blow the whistle rule is still the dumbest, even though I don't think that was the reason, because apparently the ref just lost sight of the puck and he blew the play dead, which was clearly obvious that the puck was loose in that situation. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and the goal doesn't count. And then Pittsburgh scored not that long later. It was a 4-on-4 at this point, because Jari got a penalty on this play and Scott Lawton got a penalty on this play. So 4-on-4 hockey. A weird bounce in the Flyer zone. I think it bounced off Ristolainen's skate. The same thing, it went off Rust's skate as well, onto his stick and through the 5-hole of Carter Hart. So it was a weird fluky play that Rust was able to get a shot on the surprise Hart there. Makes it 2-0. And then eventually Gensel scores as well. And it looked like Carter Hart initially made the save on this play, but I guess the momentum of the shot took his hand into the net where he was covering the puck in his glove, but his glove went over the line. So I'm assuming it was either Gensel, putting one too many taps on his hand to push the puck in, or the momentum of the puck going in just moved Hart's hand over the line. It was probably one of those scenarios. So it became 3-0 Pittsburgh going into the intermission. Flyers go to the second period. They get a power play during this standpoint. And the power play, oh my God, Joel Farabee, I feel bad for this kid. I do. Man, he whiffed on so many pucks in this period. It's not even funny. I felt bad for him. He did. After that power play, you saw him go up the tunnel, and then you definitely know during that standpoint, because he came out so many seconds later, he was banging his stick on the wall. So you feel bad for the kid in that scenario, but not that long after, they get another shift, and it's a 2-on-1 with Cam Atkinson. Joel Farabee feeds it over to him. Atkinson claps one by Jari, making it a 3-1 game, and there wasn't any hope for me in that standpoint because nothing really happened there. The Flyers did get some chances. They weren't able to beat Jari in that standpoint, so it's still a 3-1 game going into the intermission. And then the third period, it's basically all she wrote there. Flyers get their chances, but then Pittsburgh basically just blew out the game from here. Evan Rodriguez with a breakaway, he scores by Carter Hart. Jake Gensel with a breakaway, he scores. Brian Boyle shorthanded, he scores. Snipes one by Carter Hart. It was just basically a dunce in that third period. Oscar Lindblom does manage to score off a loose puck in the crease to make it 6-2, but really this game was just at this point when you're missing so many players. It's not even funny. And I'm not blaming it on that. The Flyers are putrid in general, but it's still not even as entertaining when you're missing so many guys in the lineup. So 3 stars, Brian Rust for Pittsburgh. 2nd star, Jake Gensel. 3rd star, Tristan Jarry. Shots on goal in this game, 32-20 in favor of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won the faceoff percentage. Pittsburgh scored on their only power play. Flyers go over 3. Physical game on the Flyers standpoint, they had 30 hits to Pittsburgh 17. Both teams blocked a lot of shots, 15-12 in favor of Pittsburgh. Not that many giveaways in this game, and Pittsburgh did take away the puck a lot. Shot totals per period, 15-9 in the first in favor of Pittsburgh. Second period, 8-6 in favor of Pittsburgh, and the third period, 9-5 in favor of Pittsburgh. So, I don't know what more to talk about because this game was just a big dunce. It just wasn't watchable at this point. It really just wasn't. Like, I could complain and complain and complain and complain. It's not going to get me anywhere at this point. I don't know. And I know there were talks today, and not really rumors. It was just Elliot Friedman talking on Toronto Sports Radio to where he was talking about the Flyers, and he said that he would bet, I forget who it was, he would bet this person's mansion that Claude Giroux is going to get traded this season if the Flyers continue to go down this path. And honestly, I can see that happening. And he also brought up Ivan Provorov as well, which was very surprising as well. So who knows? This is going to be a weird time going in towards this, second half of the season. I don't expect anything from the Flyers. If you're looking at the schedule right now, with Claude Giroux coming off of the COVID list, that he's expected, I would assume, to come back on Saturday. Same thing with Ivan Provorov. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to play that game, or that's just when the quarantine time ends for them, and I'm assuming they would have to get another test or something like that. So I would assume Claude Giroux and Ivan Provorov are going to be back by Saturday's game, and then I would assume Travis Sanheim and Travis Konechny will be back by either Sunday or Monday before the Carolina game on Tuesday. That's basically all I'm expecting for at this point, or what the expectation could be. You never know if any more players get added to the COVID list or anything like that. This game was just basically so uninteresting. It really is. There really just isn't that much to talk about. There just isn't, because it just goes back to the same complaining at this point, and I'm just tired of complaining. I am, because it's the same complaints every single game at this point. We've done this for how many years so far? It's the same goddamn complaints until this team actually figures out how to fix this shit. And when will they fix this shit? I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I don't have the answers. You don't have the answers. None of us do. And that's basically all that standpoint goes. And looking at the rest of the schedule, after Carolina on Tuesday, the Flyers will play in Boston on the 13th. Then they play back at home against the New York Rangers on the 15th. Then they'll have a home-and-home series 2 games back-to-back on the 17th and the 18th against the Islanders. Then they'll play home on the 20th against the Columbus Blue Jackets against Jake Voracek, who recently just played his 1,000th career NHL game today. So a little nice milestone for Jake. So that'll be Jake's first game back in Philadelphia after so long. And the rest of this month, on the 22nd, they play in Buffalo. Then they have a back-to-back on the 24th and the 25th at home against Dallas, on the road against the Islanders. And then they close out the month of January with a home game against the Los Angeles Kings before they go into February. And looking at the standings right now, because why the hell not, the Flyers are 13, 15, and 6 with 32 points. I know some people want to bring up the Flyers are actually pretty close to the wild card spot, but look at the teams that are in front of them right now. The Jersey, I really won't count. They're also not that good of a team. They have 33 points. Detroit, they've been having an okay season. They have 35 points. They're a game out of they're a point back at the wild card spot. Boston, who right now has so many games in hand on a lot of these teams, they have 36 points and they hold the second wild card spot right now. So I can see that happening. I don't see the Flyers catching up to any of these guys because look at the teams that are behind the Flyers right now. Even though it's not saying these teams are good. Looking at the Columbus Blue Jackets, they got 31 points. The Islanders, they have 26 points, and they have so many games in hand on these teams because they miss so much time with their COVID problems. You got Buffalo behind them. It's just, at this point, I know some people want to bring up the hope with the wild card spot and all that, but the hope's not there for me. It just isn't, folks. We still got so many more months left of this team to watch, and it's not going to be fun. It just really isn't. It's just not. So I think that's where I'm going to end off this video, everyone. What are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on the Flyers' COVID situation? And do you think the NHL should have postponed this game? I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, so don't forget to leave those down there. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Panel Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.